I am so excited to be here with you because I had a breakthrough yesterday and I want to share that with all of you. So, yes, I have been very devoted to keeping my mindset strong and in the present time, looking for opportunities to be grateful, looking for possibilities, turning inward to ask myself, good morning, Chelsea, welcome. Looking for ways to stay focused on the things that I know are going to bring me into a greater state, a deeper state of appreciation and gratitude, so that I can work my way through these challenges, just like all of you are working your way through these challenges as well. So I wanted to come on here and share that yesterday I had a little crash and I crashed into some wallowing. Some wallowing of, good morning, Chels. It's so good to see you here. Sort of see your name. So yesterday I had a low day. I woke up and I had, oh, good morning, Donato. Welcome. So I woke up and I knew I was in kind of a funk and the sun was shining. And so my brain, was kind of going to, okay, how can I be super productive today? How can I do all the things that I need to do, et cetera, et cetera. But then my body was compelling me to just go and plop on the couch and watch TV. So it was kind of like one of those things that I talk about in my workshops where the mind controls the body, and my mind was back and forth between, oh, I really deserve a break today. I've worked really hard this last week. I just really want a day where I can do nothing, take care of me. I was disguising it as self-care, but what was really happening was I was giving into some of those disempowered states that I have, like all of you, been battling against over this past week. So when I plopped down on that couch, I went into those old memorized patterns of behavior where I, was, well, I used to call them the big three. So if you've been to any of my workshops or you've listened to me tell my story, when I was at the height of burnout and chronic stress, I turned to the big three to numb myself. So Netflix, wine, and chocolate. So I didn't drink wine all day, but I did enjoy some chocolate. I did have a few things that are not healthy and good for me, which made me feel even worse. But the good news is that I broke through that. I had this epiphany last night and it brought me back to a classic mindset strategy that I'm really excited to share with all of you today. So this strategy is called Crazy 8 Emotional Patterns. And so what it is a cycling. So as you know, the breath controls the mind controls the body. We respond physically to the words that we speak, the thoughts that we form, and the emotions that create within us that will either take us to a familiar pattern of behavior, which we find comforting, or when we become aware, when those emotions come up, we're actually able to break free from those old, less helpful patterns and move into a state of empowerment, which will propel us forward in a more positive way. So I want to explain this strategy to you because it's so simple and you can use it anytime you find yourself in a state like I did yesterday. So what was I doing yesterday? Yesterday, as I said, I was sitting on the couch. I wasn't just watching Netflix. I was also scrolling on Facebook. I was taking in all kinds of media, news reports, which were really, really bumming me out, but I continued to do it. And so what was happening to me was that I was engaging in this crazy 8 cycle of emotions. So when you think about the figure 8, and you turn it on its side, it becomes more of an infinity symbol. On the one side, we have passive emotions. We all experience passive emotions from time to time. So on the side of passive emotions are emotions like sadness, loneliness, self-pity, depression, could even be fear in a state of freeze. So when we become so fearful that we are immobilized, or we become so afraid that we flee, so we try to run away from whatever it is that is scaring us. These can be very passive emotions. And what happens is, as these passive emotions build and build and build within us, they cycle over into more active emotions, and they begin to, we may start to externalize some of those emotions because they've been building up in us, and we may externalize those emotions on the active side of the figure eight, as emotions like frustration, resentment, anger, even rage, fear. Could be fear, fight mode. So it looks something like this. So this is like kind of like what the image would look like. Yes, I drew that myself. And I will post a picture of it down in the comments when I'm finished the live. But anyway, so you're going to cycle. You'll experience this cycle where you go back and forth until you feel this urge to escape from these emotions. So these disempowering emotions become so oppressive that we look for a way to escape from them. And we can do that in one of two ways. We can escape through distraction and addiction. So for me yesterday, the distraction was Netflix, Facebook. The addiction was comforting foods that I used to turn to. Now the good news is, if any of you have, again, been following me, you know that this is the year that I am really focused on my physical health and well-being, that is like my Kilimanjaro, the mountain I am climbing this year. And I've been doing incredibly well with my new healthy eating plan. So the things that I turned to yesterday were still keto friendly. So that was a win. So I can give myself some compassion for that. But it was still that old pattern of behavior. I was still escaping from this crazy eight where I was feeling emotions like that were connected to fear because of the circumstances that we're in, which was being fueled by my little Facebook addiction yesterday and listening to the health minister who shared some very, negative news with all of us, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, so fueling that fear, fueling that loneliness. So I was like sitting on my couch thinking, like, how long is this going to go on? I was feeling, somewhat isolated, lonelier than usual, etc. So those things were building, and I chose to escape by turning to old patterns of distraction and even addiction, because for some, food is an addiction. Your addiction could be anything. It could be working. You could be addicted to work. You could be addicted to substances, you could be addicted to food, you could be addicted to certain behaviors, and so on. But the thing is that these are not things that serve you in the larger scale of things. In the bigger picture of life, these distractions and addictions are not serving you. So what is the alternative to this? And this is where it gets exciting, because we can make a different choice. The key is to become aware that we have been caught up in this crazy eight cycle. So, okay, I'm in this crazy eight cycle. I'm aware of it now. I know that in the past, I have always gone to these distractions and these addictions, but instead I can choose to transform. I can choose transformation over distraction and addiction. So transformation comes from that awareness. So now we're aware we're in the cycle, and we're going to choose to change our state in a way that is productive for us, that is going to lead us to growth and personal development and evolution and so on. So you can choose to transform your state by doing things like getting up. You can change your physical state, so you can get up, you can go for a walk. You can do one of those really cool little dance parties that I'm seeing are popping up on live. Stay tuned. Maybe we'll have one here at some point to break state. So if you are in the crazy eight cycle, you can just get up, turn on a tune on your iPhone or your laptop, on YouTube, whatever, and dance around and shake it off. So, hey, Taylor Swift, Shake It Off would be a classic. So there's all kinds of, upbeat music that you can play, dance around, and change that state. There you're changing your physical state and your emotional state at the same time, because you're moving around, taking in that positive energy from the music, you're feeling good, and you're moving your body. You can also meditate. So if you aren't feeling that you want to expend a lot of energy physically, you can choose to meditate. So choose a meditation that is going to change your state. So if you are experiencing a disempowering state of sadness and loneliness, then put on a meditation like Abraham Hicks' Morning Energy Meditation, which I love, because it will change your emotional state and it will help you to break free from this crazy 8 pattern that can lead to self-sabotaging behaviors. You could also do gratitude journaling. So gratitude journaling is a huge one for me. So that is what I did. I went to bed last night and I reflected. So I didn't actually write things down, but I laid in bed and I actually chose to reflect on all of the things that I have to be grateful for, which is a really nice way to drift off to sleep. So you can do some gratitude journaling. You can go for a walk. So again, this is a way to change your state physically. Get up, go out, walk your dogs, go for a walk. I know that, you know, there's a lot of controversy. I'm not suggesting you do like people were doing in Vancouver, and I love Vancouver. My heart goes out to you. But that was one of the things that was coming through on my Facebook feed, was that everybody, yesterday was a beautiful day in Vancouver. Everybody went out, went to the beach, or everybody went on a hike. And guess what happened? People forgot to do the social distancing thing. So everybody was coming together in close quarters. Their intentions were good. They wanted to change their state and get out and enjoy their beautiful surroundings and the beautiful temperature. But please, please, please be consciously aware of what you're doing. So if you're going outside, go for a walk around your block. If there's a conservation area nearby, go for a walk in nature. I know one entrepreneur that I'm having on my page this week, Dolores Stott, is doing guided therapeutic forest walks, respecting social distancing. So there are ways that you can get out there. You can check out her Facebook page, actually, Under One Sun on Facebook, because she's doing free walks right now. But anyway, so there are ways that you can get out and move and enjoy the fresh air, but just do so with social responsibility. So I think that's basically a good place for me to wrap up. I will say that I went to bed last night and I did practice gratitude, but I also did some intention setting for today. So I did, before I went to sleep, set the intention that I would get up and I would do all my morning rituals, because I have a morning routine that I didn't do yesterday, that I had been kind of neglecting and putting on the back burner. So I got back to those rituals that incorporate a lot of the things that I've just shared with you on this live. So I hope that this helps. I will put my handy dandy, very clinically drafted image in the comment box so that you can take a closer look. And really, this is the perfect time for us to be doing activities like this and really reflecting on who we want to be, what we want to do, and what we want to have. And if we're trapped in this crazy 8 cycle, it's very hard to think big picture. So I'm going to put that image down there for you. And if you have a journal and you like to journal, you can journal these things out. So you can ask yourself, first take some deep breaths before you begin. So take in at least 3 deep rejuvenating breaths, and then ask yourself, what are the emotional cycles that I'm trapped in right now? What are the passive emotions that I'm experiencing? What are the active emotions I'm experiencing? And how can I escape from this cycle into transformation instead of into addiction or distraction? So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to pop on here periodically with little strategies and tips to sustain your strength and your vitality as we navigate these unprecedented times together. So with that, I'm sending you love and health and vitality, and I will see you here again soon. Take care.